make you nervous. A tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster. A reckoning, you wonder how I got this way. You think I'm someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, something.
All right, hockey fans, here we go. Final matchup of the day. U16 division, USA wearing white, Canada wearing black. Should be a good one tonight as Canada gets an early walk in on net. Ooh, shot just goes wide. Happy to have you with us. I'm your play-by-play announcer, Chris Pekanowitz. Looking forward to a good one here at Nike Arena. You just saw Canada knock off Slovakia in the U18 division as Canada fires it in, intercepted by the United States. Dumped in down low. U.S. on the forecheck. Canada takes possession. Sent in down deep, all the way around the boards. Banked up along the glass and then picked up by Canada. Long shot in, just goes wide. Steered to the corner. Picked up by the United States. And we're going to get our first flooring call of the day. So 13:45 elapsed, or pardon me, 13:45 remaining here in the first period. Nothing score. Canada coached by Tyler Anderson. Assistant coaches Mitchell Bragg and Jack Oleksweek. The United States, head coach William Rennebeck, assisted by Dave Lammy and Dom Benari. As the U.S. takes it back behind their net. Good forecheck by Canada, poking it loose. U.S. trying to corral it up, they do. Up along the far boards into the neutral zone. They gain the Canadian zone. Canada's there to pick it up. U.S. aggressive on the forecheck. Canada now takes possession, cross floor. Looking to gain the U.S. zone, they do. Dumped in behind the net. Whacked up towards the near boards. Canada with possession. Sends it back in down low. All the way back to the point and then sent in, but intercepted by the U.S. Good read on the play there on the part of number 5, Gavin Ambrose. Picked up by Madden Timchak for Canada. Sent in all the way down low, and that's going to be another flooring call. 12:30 remaining here in the opening period. Nothing, U.S. and Canada, U16 division. Big game for both these teams. And a reminder, as always, you can get live scoring in effect at stats.isbhf.com. You can see shots on goal, scores, assists, all that good stuff as we get ready for the draw here. Referee providing some instructions. Ready to drop it. Face off, one back by Canada. Knifed around to the near boards. Picked up by Kirkpatrick. Far boards. Canada looking to gain the U.S. zone. They do. Poke checked away. Good read on the play. Picked up by Mac Weldon. Dumps it in deep. That'll count as a shot on net. Sent around towards the far boards. Both players lose their footing there. No call on the play. Sent in deep to the United States zone. U.S. trying to get it out. They do. And we're going to get our first call of the game here. Referee put his hand up immediately. I think it's going to be a tripping call. Not charging. Well, that's something you don't see a lot in ball hockey. But for number 14 for Canada, Thomas Burkett, he's going to head into the box for 2 minutes. So in net for the United States, Colin Moffat. And in net for Canada, Jackson Taraborelli. And we'll see how the U.S. handles their first man advantage here as the Canadians are shorthanded. U.S. looking to stick handle through into the zone. They do. Here's an opportunity. Centering pass just goes wide. Ref has his hand up. We're going to another penalty on Canada here. U.S. netminder makes his way to the bench. U.S. now with a 6-on-4. And they give it to Canada to take the 5-on-3. Good job by the coaching staff. Heads up play there. So they will have 5-on-3 for 1 minute and 32 seconds to see what the call is. And that's going to be a slash on number 18, Rowan Reynard. Well, unfortunate start for Canada. Putting themselves in a hole here early. 5-on-3 advantage for the United States. Golden opportunity to go up early. Face-off poked high towards the far boards. U.S. trying to keep that in the zone, trying to dig it out deep. Comes all the way towards the red zone. U.S. will be able to keep that in. Joey Moore was there at the point, number 11. Back to Moore. Long shot. Oh, good save early. Almost a laser beam that had eyes, but Jackson Taraborelli. Good positional goaltending. Face off to the right of Taraborelli. One back by the Americans to the point. U.S. looks like they're trying to just set up for the one-timer here on this 5-on-3. Cross-floor pass goes wide. Off the stick of Moore. Centering down low, shot! Save! Rebound, save! Oh, 2 big saves. Taraborelli standing tall. Well, Canadian player loses it in the zone there. Long shot, pad save, rebound comes right to an American. He's got a lane there. Shot just goes wide. 30 seconds remaining on the 5-on-3. Over to Moore, shot, wide, rebound. Couldn't stuff it. U.S. stops the clearing attempt. 20 seconds remaining on the 5-on-3. U.S. looking to create some space here for that one-timer. Down low. 5 seconds remaining on the 5-on-3. One-timer shot. Blocked. Canada gets the clear, so they'll kill that 5-on-3. 25 seconds remaining on the 5-on-4 now. Huge kill for Canada. As the U.S. gains the zone here, but they're getting some line changes, so they will get set back up at the point. Long shot, blocked off of a foot. Canada's going to be able to get the clear now. So that should do it for the man advantage. There's 5 seconds left. Canadian player gets ready to come out of the box. However, well, we got a slash now on the Americans. So now Canada's going to go on the power play. I did not see that. I was following the ball down low, but that's going to be against number 11, Joey Moore. Going to talk to the referee, ask for an explanation. The referee says, well, you're not having it, son. Go into the box. So now Canada potentially with some momentum here. 2 seconds left on the man advantage, so if Canada can win this draw, they'll immediately go on the power play. So looking at the standings right now, Slovakia and the U.S. have both played 3 games. Slovakia leads with 9 points. U.S. has 6. This is Canada's 3rd game. They have 6 points. They've won both their games. So big game for both these teams. Canada shot, pad save. Good positional goaltending by Moffat. Canada working it over to Flynn. Long shot from the point, goes wide, rebound. Unable to bury the rebound there on the part of the Canadian player. Can't see the number from up here. Back down low. No, Aaron pass is able to be kept in at the point. Good hustle effort there by Rowan Reynard. Takes the shot. Cross floor pass. Calling for it back at the point is Reynard. Long wrist shot, waffled up over the glass. Canada now, wrist shot, wide. Flynn has it. 50 seconds remaining on the man advantage for Canada. Back to Reynard. Canada very patient with the ball now. Back to Reynard. Long shot, wide. And then Moffat's going to swallow that up for the rebound. So the faceoff will come out to his left. 37 seconds left on the man advantage. Canada's going to get some wholesale line changes, and it looks like the U.S. will follow suit. So for the U.S., if they can win this, they would tie Slovakia in the lead with 9 points. Canada, if they could win this, would tie Slovakia for the lead at 9 points. So obviously a big game with both teams having 6 points. .30 seconds left on the man advantage. Canada will look to gain the line. U.S. stacks the blue. Canada having some difficulty gaining the zone. They finally do, but still being harangued along the boards. Now they gain it. Stewart had it there. Poke check to the boards by the U.S. They're going to be able to get the clear, so that should effectively do it. 7 seconds left on the man advantage. Canada not going to have time to get set up here. U.S. player ready to come out of the box, so he's out. They have killed it now. Canada tries to walk it in. Poke checked away. Into the boards, 4 players battling. Canada trying to work it loose. Long shot, goes well wide. Goes off the stick of number 43, Gill. U.S. goes for the poke check and misses. And still unable to clear it. So back down low, Canada has it, trying to circle it for a shot. Poke checked away. Onto the stick of Gill. Long shot! Score! Canada! Ball went off of a foot right under the stick of a Canadian player. Nothing Moffat could do on that one. And Canada takes the early lead. 1-0. 6:46 remaining in the opening period. Well, just a bad break for the Americans, but hey, credit to Canada. They capitalized. Ball went right onto the player's foot. And he just put it in the back of the net. And I believe the goal scorer there will be Ripka for Canada. Wait till they announce it and put it up on stats.isbhf.com, but usually the goal scorer leads the handshake line, and he was first in line there. So tough break for the Americans. For Canada, they have the momentum now. We'll see if they can keep that momentum going. Canada back behind the net. So Eric Ripka gets the goal, assisted by Sejan Gill and number 34 Nolan Stewart, as we get a flooring call here. Well, for the U.S., they just got to shake it off. You know, that ball was sent in from the point, just went off of a foot and right to the stick of an empty player. Nothing you can do about it, so just on to the next shift. Long shot from the point, deflected in on net. Rebound still loose, mad scramble. U.S. battling, whack it at it, ball still loose. Finally, referee blows it dead as the net came dislodged. The U.S. looks like they're unhappy with the whistle, but net came dislodged. Ref might have lost sight of the ball there. We'll have a face-off to the left of Tara Borelli. Face-off won by the Americans. Back to the point. Along the near boards. Moore has it. Centering attempt. Ooh, just missed there. Looked like he was trying to hit Mason DeFazio. U.S. picks it back up, circles behind the net, dumps it off. Canada on the forecheck along the far boards. U.S. picks it up. Centering attempt. Are they going to be able to beat that? No, they're not. So that'll be a flooring call all the way back to the U.S. zone. So Canada discussing things over. Referee gets ready to line up for the draw. 5:46 remaining, opening period. Canada leading 1-0. Face off one to the side, looked like by Canada, but nobody there to pick it up. So the Americans dump it in, and now they're going to get some line changes after that flooring call. Canada screaming to gain the zone here. They do. Centering attempt goes off of a stick, picked up by the Americans. Over to Chase Boyer, rifles it in, and that's going to be whistled offsides. So the faceoff will come back to the neutral zone. Beautiful night here in Zilina, Slovakia. Certainly want to give thanks to the Slovakian Hockey Ball Union. They've been tremendous hosts all week. Really taking care of all the ISBHF staff, the volunteers, all the players. Volunteers and assistants, coaches from the countries. Nothing but good things to say. And as a player blows the tire there for Canada, that was Madden Timchak. No call on the play. Sent up, and that's going to be a flooring call. So it'll come back down deep into the Canadian zone. 4:58 remaining. Opening period. Big game for both these teams. Looking to join Slovakia in a tie for first place. Face off, one back by the Americans, trying to get it back to the point. Can't. Stick handled out by the Canadians, showing some speed. Canada does not have numbers. Going to try and get this set up. Centering attempt just poke checked away by Moffitt. Americans gain the zone, back up along the blue line, trying to get it in down deep. Looking to get a stick on that was Chase Boyer, but beaten to it by the Canadian defender as number 8, Colin Ritz, takes it. Pardon me, Cole Ritz, not Colin. Canada slowly walking it into the American zone. Americans collapse down, pick up the loose ball, going to the near boards. Centering attempt goes awry, picked up by Canada. Shot blocked. Still battling along the far boards. Canada walks it out now, has a lane to the net, blocked. Good job by the Americans, sacrificing the body. Centering, tap back and a score! Canada goes up 2-0. I believe that was Luke Saramac, number 13. That just threw a quick backhander on net and had eyes. Right to the blocker side. Canada up 2-0. Well, good start for the Canadians here. 3:35 remaining in the opening period. See who they give the assist to. Ripka has it. Centering attempt goes off a foot. Ball bounces up off the boards and the glass. Long shot off the shoulder of Moffitt. Picked up by the Canadians, trying to walk it back in. Poke checked away by Moffitt. Towards the near corner. Intercepted by the Americans. Trying to get out of the zone. They do. So assist on that goal was Brady Snedden, number 19 for Canada. Luke Saramac on the goal, assisted by Brady Snedden. Long wrister towards the corner, went off of a knee. Faked the shot. Ball caroms off the boards behind Moffat. Canada picks it up. Long shot in, seen the entire way by Moffat as the American takes exception to the extra whack. And a little bit of chirping between these two heated rivals. That was number 7 for America, Connor Lammy. Just gave the Canadian player a little bit of the business. Face off now to the right of Moffat. 2:28 remaining in the opening period. One back by the Americans, but picked up by the Canadians. Trying to walk it through on Moffat. Ball's loose, picked up by the Americans. And we have a whistle here as the net is completely dislodged. So looks like the face-off's going to come out to the neutral zone. Face off one back by the Americans, banked up along the near boards, intercepted by Canada. Back towards the American zone, that ball goes up out of play into the American bench. So the face off will come back to the neutral zone. Referee ready for the draw. One to the side by Canada. Sent in down deep. Americans give chase. Intercepted by Canada. Now behind the net. Looking for a passing lane. None there. Picked up by the Americans. Chipped up. 2-on-2 now. Americans try to stick handle. Gain the zone. Canada quick on the back check, but American was offsides there along the far boards. America frustrated right now. A couple of players banging their sticks. Trying to see who that offside call was on. Looks like it's on number 9, Robert Persson. Chipped in down deep behind Tabarelli. And American tried to kick that, but whiffed on it. So it'll end up as a flooring call. 1:30 left here in the opening period. Canada leading 2-0. But for those American fans watching at home who are fans of hockey, as you know, if you listen to me call any of the games at the World Ball Hockey Championships last week in Switzerland, 2-goal lead, right? What is it? The worst lead in sports. So Americans certainly not out of this, and Canada knows that, believe me. They're going to continue to apply pressure as the Canadians pick the ball up behind Tara Borelli. Up to Flynn. Chips it in deep to Stewart. Trying to get it back to Flynn. He's got a lane here. Good defensive stick work by the Americans. Can Canada keep it in? They can. Chip back in. It's an American in the chest. Up along the boards. Americans try to carry it out. They can't. Canada keeps it in. Less than a minute remaining now. Rattled behind Moffat. Americans gather it up along the near boards. Picked up by Moore. Moore chips it in. And then Moore gets taken down. We're going to call on the Canadians here, I believe, for interference. Yes, we are. Well, 36 seconds left in the period now. Big opportunity for the Americans, right, to climb right back in this. For Canada, got to be frustrated with that call. Can't really say that that was a good hockey penalty. You know, the ball is being chipped into the corner. And again, I'm trying to be fair in my analysis here. Obviously, I don't have a caller commentator with me, but as I put on my call and commentator hat, you just got to be a little bit smarter, right? Awareness. So, you know, 36 seconds left in the period. The ball's chipped in the corner, right? Nope, really no reason to take an interference call. Ooh, is that shot somehow made its way through off the glove of Tara Borelli. Penalty for Canada on number 93, Redden Hart, as America takes possession now back towards the point. 15 seconds. Have to start getting some balls on net here. Oh, good look at the net. Shot blocked. Made its way through to Tara Borelli. And then it ends up getting swallowed up. So 8 seconds left here. Go ahead and pull my John Madden for the day. This is obviously a big draw for the Americans. They got to win it. Ref providing instructions. Won by the Americans. Can they get the shot off? 5 seconds. Got to shoot. Here it comes. 2 seconds. Shot! Goes wide, high, off the glass, and that'll be it. So 1:25 remaining on the man advantage. 5-minute break between periods. We'll see you back here for start of the second. Canada up 2-0.
So I've come to that conclusion. I'm just one man amongst thousands. In this world, I'll let them shout. They'll do fine without me. The chemicals in my head don't work as yours. 'Cause every piece of road is a little bit of happiness. Every kind of love causes a little bit less regret. Please strike me thunder. Let me get closer to that light. Let me go under the water till I can breathe. Let me go up. 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 Let me go up.
I never wanna hold you back. I wanna give you every chance to make it, to make it. I'm afraid if our love collides, you'll leave me alone tonight. 'Cause I'm changing and I'm breaking. Is this over? I'm scared to ask these questions, 'cause I know that you'll reject my love. Moving slower, frozen to these pieces without a shoulder to cry on. I will
right, welcome back here. Ready for start of the second period action. A lot of fans in attendance made the trip all the way across the pond, both the United States and Canada. Appreciate them making the journey, support these amazing young men as they start their journey on the international ball hockey scene. So minute 10 remaining on the man advantage for the U.S. Prime opportunity to get right back in this. U.S. sets up at the point, Canada on the forecheck. Sent in along the near boards. All the way across the floor. Back to center. Long shot. Deflected. Hit a body in front. Loose. Well, referee was about to blow the whistle, but somehow that ball squirted loose. Not exactly sure how. Hit a couple of bodies in front. 37 seconds left in the man advantage. U.S. looking to gain the zone. Well, ball goes off of a foot, but they managed to corral it. Poke checked away. Canada's going to be able to get the clear here. Well, unfortunate bounce for the U.S. For the Canadians, good smart hockey right there. U.S. 12 seconds left on the man advantage, looking to gain the zone. They do. Trying to get it back to the point, but that's it. Canada clear, so that'll do it for the man advantage. U.S. unable to capitalize. As a Canadian player comes out of the box, and we are back to even strength. So for the U.S., Ian Basilio takes it back. Nowhere to go with it. Drops it off to number 7, Connor Lammy. Lammy now looking for an outlet pass. There's a U.S. player down on the floor. Canada's about to get a penalty here. It happened way away from the play. It's a slash. The U.S. player is still down. Training staff coming out to attend to it. Canadian player appears to be incredulous from up here, saying, "What, are you kidding me? You're calling that a penalty?" I didn't see it. I was following the ball. It happened on the blue line. Obviously, you can see the player down being tended to. But the referee didn't even give the player any explanation there. So clearly, listen, if you're rooting for Canada, clearly it must have been a slash. I'm looking down at the Canadian bench. I don't see anybody on the coaching staff asking for an explanation here. Captain's coming out. He's talking to the ref. As that player is going to be helped off. I'll try and get you a number here as soon as he gets closer to me. It looks like number 11 for the United States, which would be Joey Moore the third. Hopefully he's okay. Yeah, unable to put any weight on that left leg. Moore in obvious discomfort here on the bench, being tended to by the training staff. Well, Canada back shorthanded now. Another prime opportunity for the U.S. to climb back into this. Face-off one back by Canada. Taking it behind the net, looking to get it clear. Dumped up along the near boards. U.S. trying to get a couple of bodies there to intercept that. Stewart beats him to it. Is able to get a long clear as Moffitt does not come out to play that and just lets his defenseman, Caleb Horner, come play it. U.S. gains the zone. Sent in down deep behind the net. Chip it up towards the far boards. U.S. getting set up here. Canada in the box on the PK. Well, that's just a bad decision right there. Listen, I know I'm talking to a Canadian and a U.S. audience here, but, you know, that kid's just got to be smarter with the ball, right? DeFazio. He probably knows that. Sent in towards the far boards, over to DeFazio. Horner at the point, nowhere to go with it. Now back to DeFazio. I mean, Canada's just doing a great job. They're not giving the U.S. a single shooting lane here. There's 40 seconds left. U.S. hasn't had a single shot on goal. Now they try one, and it's rifled around the boards by Canada, picked up by the U.S. Hey, credit to the Canadians. They're just doing good work here on the PK. Back behind the net, intercepted by Canada, and they're going to be able to get the clear. with 20 seconds left. So Moffett comes out to play it. Canada tries to get some fresh legs out. U.S. is going to carry this into the zone. Off of a foot, intercepted. U.S. still has the zone. Intercepted again. And that should do it. 2 seconds left. Moffett leaves it for his defenseman. So Canada back even. Oh, they've now killed 3 penalties. Credit to them. Just doing good work there on the penalty kill as the interceptor. Now Flynn has it. Dropped it off to Philpott, who sent it in down deep. Chipped up towards the far boards. Both players battling, and now the U.S. takes an obvious cross-checking penalty. I mean, it's right in front of the referee. You can't argue that. I'm sorry, you can't argue that. Now Canada goes on the man advantage. I mean, this U.S. player is still very upset in the bench. Oh, look, listen, I don't have a color commentator to provide, right, color commentating, so I got to do both roles here. And I don't want to criticize. These are kids. It's the U16 division. I get it. Emotions are high. It's a rivalry game against Canada. But you just got to be smart with your stick work, right? Know where the referee is, right? Know what he can see and can't see. And if you feel like it's something where, you know, you need to let this player know you're not going to take any business for the rest of the game, right? There's a time and place for it. So as Canada just walks it into the U.S. zone, now Canada setting up on the power play. Centering attempt goes off of a body, bounced up in the air. Moffett was able to just stick that wide. Now goes off far point. Over to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick winds up right into the breadbasket of Moffett, which I would assume is intentional. Canada just wants to reset on the power play here. So the U.S. will get some fresh legs. Referee ready to drop the ball. Minute 25 left on the power play. One back by Canada. Over to Hayward. Or pardon me, not Hayward, Reynard. Sorry. Now to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick walking it in, unleashes a clapper. Waffled aside by Moffett. Saw that the whole way. Taken along the far boards. Back to Reynard. Towards the far boards, back to Reynard. Long shot goes wide onto the stick of an American. Looking to get the clear here. That's the ball poke checked away. Another American picks it up. Still trying to get the clear. Couldn't. That was Jacob Simon for America trying to do some work there. So back to the point. Onto Reynard. Down to Snedden. Snedden, wrist shot right into the breadbasket. Bouncing to the far corner. Shot blocked. Centering attempt. Oh, that made it all the way through. Canadian player just fanned on the redirect there. That was Philpott. Hey, good effort by Canada there. Had a passing lane. U.S. trying to get it clear here. They do not. 8 seconds left on the man advantage. Long shot in from the point. Blocked. So that's it for the penalty. Even strength. U.S. successfully kills it. Centering attempt. Batted out of the zone. U.S. going to try and beat the flooring call here. They cannot. So flooring will come back. As the referee hustles over to the U.S. bench and calls the players back out onto the floor. .8:37 left in the second period. Canada leading 2-0. Again, you can get your scoring updates at stats.isbhf.com. Live scoring in effect. And I always have it up on my phone when I'm calling games. So right now, Jackson Taraborelli has made 15 saves. Colin Moffett has made 13 saves. Obviously on 15 shots since it's 2-0 as Canada now gains possession, trying to walk it in. Centering attempt. Oh, good save by Moffett. I don't think he saw that down under the butterfly. U.S. going to get a penalty here. Or is that going to be on Canada? Hooking. Oh, I thought it was going to be on the U.S. player there for a second, but no, it's on Canada. So, again, U.S., right, back on the power play. Got to figure out a way to capitalize and counter this impressive Canadian penalty killing unit. So that's Blake Strain heading off to the box, number 66 for Canada. Let's see if the U.S. is making any adjustmts here on the penalty kill, because obviously they've just not really been able to do anything. Conversely for Canada, continue to do the same thing, right? They're clogging passing lanes. The U.S. player winds up with a shot. Players are collapsing down. They're just doing great work as the U.S. corrals it towards the point. Long shot blocked. Good job there by number 61, Max Van Dam, blocking that shot. U.S. looking for a lane here. Wrist shot, pad, save. Rebound, shot, gets deflected up into the mesh netting, so the faceoff will stay down low. Good work on the part of Nolan Stewart there, getting a stick on that redirect. Back behind the net, Reynard rifles it all the way around. U.S. unable to keep it in. So I'll take a good 20 seconds off the man advantage as there are a minute and 30 left on it. And now we get a penalty here. Interference. It's on number 61 for Canada, Max Van Dam. Well, listen, again, these are kids. I understand family, parents, friends are watching, you know. Far be it for me to be critical of kids. I'm trying to offer constructive color commentary. You just can't take that penalty, right? It's completely unnecessary. Whatever was going on there at the point was immaterial to the play. So lesson learned for Van Dam. Hopefully for him in Canada, the U.S. is able to capitalize. Now for the United States, right, you got to make something happen here. Long shot blocked. You got to find shooting lanes here. You got to move the ball a little bit more crisp. Takes the one-timer, long shot, wide. Canada can't clear, one shot, blocked. I don't believe that made it through to the netminder as Canada's going to get the clear. Moffat needs to come out and play this. He does. So 50 seconds left on the two-man advantage. U.S. gains the zone. That was Madden Goss that had it. Back to the point, one-time attempt. Just wide. U.S. not hitting the net here on these shots. A couple of them have not hit bodies. They're just shooting it wide. One-time attempt shot. Good save. Tara Borelli. Good positional goaltending. One time blocked. Again, great job by Canada. Right, what else can you say? Red and Hart blocking shots there, sacrificing the body. Clearing attempt fails. The U.S. trying to walk it in. Shot wide, rebound effort, stuffed. Now it's a 5-on-4, 34 seconds remaining now on the one-man advantage. Back to the point, long shot, high over the glass. Canada unable to get a clear there. U.S. player loses stick. Now it's a 2-on-1 for Canada. U.S. hustling back, trying to negate it. Centering attempt blocked. U.S. player loses the stick. Now the United States corrals it, but that's going to do it. Hey, credit to Canada. Great work. That's what you want to see out of your penalty killers. Blocking passing lanes, you know, active stick work, right? Not giving the attacking team anything to shoot at. For the United States, you got to be disappointed. You know, if I'm the coaching staff, I'm sending out some different players if I get another power play, because these five out there, I'm sorry, but they just ain't cutting it, right? Back to the action now as Canada tries to get it in the U.S. zone. They can't. Canada now walking it in. Drops it off. Shot. Save Moffitt. Rebound, save Moffitt. Centering attempt, turnaround effort. Shot goes wide. Moffitt has the post. He plugs that rebound effort. Long shot from the point. Pad save Moffitt. Rebound picked up by the United States. Back behind the net. Under 5 minutes remaining here in the second period. Now some big saves by Moffitt, keeping his team in it. The U.S. corrals it 2-on-2, and we have a hurt Canadian player. Referee signaling for the training staff. So as the Canadian player walks to the bench here, I'm trying to get a number there. It looks like number 19, assistant captain Brady Snedden. You know, back to the power play, right? If you're the United States coaching staff, based on what I've seen there, you've had 2 5-on-3s, right? You know, a couple of 5-on-4s. The players just not moving the ball well, right? For whatever reason. I would say you got to try something different. I'm not a hockey coach. I would never tell anybody how to coach kids up. This is just one play-by-play announcer's observation from up here in the bird's nest. As the U.S. tries to get it in deep into the Canadian zone, they do, but Canada's going to win that foot race. Sent around by Timchak. Towards the near boards. We're going to get a flooring call? No. Kirkpatrick for Canada, digging. U.S. comes away with it. High lob pass towards center floor, picked up by Canada. Intercepted by the U.S., trying to gain the Canadian zone. They can't. 4 minutes remaining here. Canada now trying to gain the zone. It was tipped, no flooring. Centering attempt, nobody there to pick it up. Fazio with it, cross floor. And the U.S. is offsides. Well, maybe you see it at home, but from up here, the U.S. just looks out of sorts. I don't know how else to describe it. I've seen, most of their games. This just does not seem like the same level of cohesiveness is how I would describe it compared to what I've seen before. But 3:46 remaining in the second period. They got plenty of time to turn this around. U.S. picks it up back behind the net. His chance of USA breakout. U.S. trying to gain it in through the Canadian zone. They do. Back behind the net. Battle along the boards. U.S. comes away with it. Trying to find a centering feed shot. Just goes wide. Long shot. Easily handled. Seen the entire way by Tara Borelli as the ball goes up out of play, and we'll get a face-off. A couple of U.S. players slamming their sticks. I mean, listen, again, got to keep emotions in check, right? You want to play with high energy, but play's over. Got to put it behind you. On to the next one. And credit to Canada. They're doing what they need to do to keep the U.S. off the scoreboard. They are playing a fundamentally sound defensive game here. Banked high up off the glass. U.S. player almost misplayed it and let Canada walk in on 2-on-1, but good recovery there. That was number 61, Caleb Horner. Into the boards, and the U.S. takes an obvious call right in front of the right in front of the referee. That'll be 2 minutes for boarding. So prime opportunity for Canada. Go up 3-0 here. And it's number 97, Mac Weldon, walks to the box. So Brady Snedden taking the draw for Canada, wins it back. point to Reynard. Down low to Philpott. Cross floor pass. Oh, good save, Moffitt. Sliding across there. Ball stuck at some feet. Canada comes away with it. Oh, Reynard has a lane here. Shot hit the pipe. Cleared into the corner by the U.S. Oh, good laser beam there by Reynard. He's calling for it again. Shot right into the breadbasket. Reynard frustrated with himself. Hey, that kid can't be frustrated. Two good looks in there. One of them hit the pipe. The other one, you know, he's trying to go a 5-hole. And Moffitt's a great goaltender, right? Just made a great save. Minute 23 left on the man advantage. Canada leading 2-0. Face off, picked up by the Canadians, kept in at the zone. Good job there by the captain, Jordan Flynn. Over to Reynard. Reynard looking at his options. Back to Reynard. He's got Flynn over there. Here it comes. Shot. Pad save, Moffitt. Down to the butterfly. Canada picks it up. Kirkpatrick with it. Centering attempt, shot. Pad save, Moffitt. Rebound effort. Another save, Moffitt. This kid's keeping his team in the game. U.S. stacks the line here. Saramac gave chase. A little too hard for him to handle. Rifled all the way around. Canada able to keep it in at the point. Good job there by Dimitrov. Dimitrov fakes the shot. Back to Dimitrov. Fakes the shot again. Over to Stewart, to Dimitrov. Back to Stewart. One-timer shot. Pad save, Moffitt. Rebound knocked wide off the stick of Saramac. Back to Stewart, looking for a shooting lane. Down to Saravac, up to Stewart. Stewart, shot, blocked. Back down low, 7 seconds left. We're going to get a penalty here. So that's going to be interference on the U.S. player. He basically stick-lifted the Canadian player, and I called several games in Liberec last year at the World Junior Championships, but I saw this penalty happen 4 or 5 times. Players get aggressive on their stick lifts, and they end up stick lifting so viciously that the stick flies out of the opposing player's hands, right? What do you expect the ref to do? Not call that, right? Like, you can't shake your head. You just got to be smarter. Again, trying to be fair here with my criticism, you just got to be smarter, right? Don't put your team at a disadvantage. Now, if you're Canada, right, just a golden opportunity here. So it's 5-on-3 is over. Back to a 5-on-4. Shot went wide. U.S. going to be able to get a clear here. They do. And they give chase, try and kill some time. Now they think better of it. So Canada walking in all alone. Shot save, Moffitt. U.S. gets the clear there. U.S. penalty was on number 8, Cole Ritz, for that vicious stick lift, we'll call it. Technical call was interference as Canada walks in now. Centering attempt. We're going to get another call in the United States. Canada will be back on the 5-on-3. Long shot. Save, Moffitt. Save again. Canada thinks they scored. Now the ref signals it. Wait a minute. I heard a whistle here. U.S. is asking for an explanation. I heard a whistle before that ball went in. The U.S. is asking for an explanation. So the captain is talking to the referee. Look, there's a lot of noise in the arena. Maybe it sounded like a whistle. I don't know. But there is some discussion here. So the U.S. captain going over to discuss it. Folks, I'm just as confused as you are. Obviously, it's the intermission. Right? I didn't hear a goal horn. Canadian captain and U.S. captain are there. They have not put the goal up on the board. One referee signaled, the other didn't. Still watching the referees here. I'm looking at the scoreboard. I don't see the goal up. Okay, they're not going to put the goal up. Okay, so 3 minutes, 20 seconds left till the start of the third period. Canada leading 2-0. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Back. There's no goal on the board. There is, however, a penalty. So Canada will be a 5-on-3 for 1:08 to start the period. Go ahead and pull my second Judd Madden of the day. Obviously, this is a chance for Canada to put this game away based on how things have gone. You know, they've really controlled the play here. They've been good on the power play all week. Long shot, blocked, saved Moffitt. So I feel, the feeling here in the arena, and I was talking with the people up at the booth here, if Canada get another one, it's just a really tall mountain for the USA to climb. Again, stranger things have happened in ball hockey, but based on how this game's gone, Canada working it, 5-on-3, shot, saved Moffitt, one off his foot. Canada trying to get the one-timer set up. Flynn is over here all by himself. Long wrist shot, rebound, loose, shot, goes over the crossbar. Oh boy, Canada almost got the third one there. Another save, Moffitt. Now he gets a glove on it. That shot off the crossbar was off the stick of number 11, Kellen Kirkpatrick. Well, he had the right idea. I mean, Moffitt had the bottom half of the net covered. He just tried to roof it top shelf. I mean, he didn't miss by much from my vantage point. Poked up along the boards. Canada with it now. Wrist shot goes off a body, blocked. Good job by the Americans. So now it's 5-on-4. They've killed the 5-on-3. They still got 45 seconds left on the man advantage. Canada looking to gain the zone. Flynn with it, walks it in. U.S. lets him have it. Snedden over to the point. Off to Dimitrov. Dimitrov asks for it back. Dimitrov playing pitch and catch. Now back to Flynn. He's got a man down low. There it is. Tic-tac-toe. And we're getting a penalty on the U.S. I mean, again, obvious penalty. It's a cross. It's right in front of the ref. Cross-checking. Can't argue that call. It's a good call by the referee. Canada right back on the 5-on-3. This is clearly signs of frustration for the U.S. .22 left, 21 seconds on the original penalty. That's how long Canada will be on the 5-on-3. Faced off, one back by Canada, but poke checked out by the Americans. Let's see if Canada can get back in the setup here. 12 seconds left on the two-man. They walk it into the zone, drop it back. 5 seconds remaining. One-timer shot, save Moffitt, rebound, comes loose, shot, goes in the back of the net. Off the stick of number 13, Luke Saramac. That's all it takes, right? Long shot from the point. Hey, nothing Moffitt can do on that. He made the initial save, but you're down a 5-on-3, right? There's 2 unaccounted for attackers, and that's what happens. And again, I'm not trying to be hypercritical of the United States here. I tip my cap to Canada. That's exactly what you should be doing when you get a 5-on-3. And for the U.S., you just got to be disappointed, right? A couple unnecessary penalties, just undisciplined play. Canada's had their share of penalties as well, obviously. And again, I get emotions are high. It's the last game of the day. You're battling to have a tie in first place. You just got to be smart out there. You just got to be smart. Credit to Saramac on the goal. Put himself in the right spot and just backhanded it right into the empty net. So a little bit of confusion there with who the U.S. is going to send off. Canada has 1 minute and 30 seconds left here on the 5-on-4. U.S. just got to keep them off the board. Shot gets deflected up into the mesh netting. 1:16 left on the man advantage. Canada discussing things over at the wrong face-off circle, so they'll walk over. Referee ready to drop the ball. Face-off won back by the Americans, but then picked up by the Canadians along the near boards. Over to the point. Wrist shot. Blocked. Canadian player loses their footing, and the U.S. player loses their stick. So Canada looking to regain the zone. They're just going to be able to walk it in here. Stewart has it. Oh, good stick work there. It was Gavin Ambrose for the U.S. able to poke check that away. 47 seconds left on the man advantage. So sent in, poke check to the boards by the U.S., picked up by Canada. Back to the point. Down low. Calling for it back at the point. Wrist shot, wide, backhander. Blocked. 20 seconds left on the man advantage. Down low. Canada looking for a shooting lane off of a foot here. Can the U.S. get the clear? They cannot. 10 seconds left on the man advantage. Long shot. Moffitt steers it to the glass. So that'll do it for the man advantage. U.S. successfully kills it. Players going to get back into the play here. One-time attempt went wide. Just off the stick of Thomas Burkett. Canada trying to walk it into the center floor there. U.S. trying to corral it. Poke check back in. U.S. up along the near boards. Potential 2-on-1 here. Canada's got to hustle back. U.S. player takes a spill, and Canada is going to be shorthanded as that player rifles it off of his own player there. So for Canada, that'll be number 12, Zachary Earl, heading to the box. Now, what a penalty-filled game. I mean, really, right? You folks at home are watching the same game I am. I get it's a heated rivalry game. These, two teams that know each other well, they don't like each other. It's a battle for first place. I just personally am a little surprised at the lack of discipline. It's not the first game of the tournament here. You should know what type of game the referees throughout the tournament are calling. But as Dennis Miller used to like to say, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. U.S. player sent off because there's an issue with his helmet. Can't seem to get the chin strap working there. So ready for the draw. 10:58. U.S. back on the man advantage. Won by the Americans. Back to the point. Wrist shot, deflected, shot, score! Now the Americans get on the board. Well, that's what they needed to do, right? Get balls to the net. It's a rebound attempt. Absolutely nothing that Jackson Taraborelli could do on that. He made the initial save, but it's a man advantage, right? You're down a man, there's an open player, and he just whacks into the back of the net. I know I've been critical of the United States, but I give them credit there. That was the right move. Just a nice wrist shot on net, low pad, hope for a rebound, and bang, you're right back in the game. Now it's a 2-goal game. For Canada, tough break, right? Nothing you can do about it. On to the next shift. Get you the goal scorer here in just a second as soon as I put it up on stats.isbhf.com. As the U.S. now trying to keep the ball in the zone. They do. Long shot in, glove down. Canada with it, trying to backhand it out, but they backhand it all the way over the glass. Face-off will come back in down deep. So just to recap the goal scorers for Canada, Eric Ripka, and then 2 from Luke Saramac, and then your goal scorer for the United States there was Jacob Fink, assisted by Basilia. I should say Ian Basilia. U.S. with it along the near boards. 4 players battling hard. Good clean hockey going on down there. Referees letting them work it. Still trying to squirt it loose. U.S. player comes in, and now we blow it dead, and we'll have a face-off down to the Canadian zone. So U.S. getting some wholesale line changes. Canada sending out a couple of fresh legs. Ready for the draw, one back by the Canadians, up along the boards, and the U.S. just takes a tripping call right in front of the referee. You know, folks, I am just, if you're stunned, I'm as stunned as you are. I just don't understand it. I really don't. I mean, you just got back into the game, right? It's 3-1, and you just trip somebody going into the boards. Again, right in front of the referee. So who is that penalty on? Number 11, Joey Moore the third. Well, if you're a United States fan, you know, I'm sure you're frustrated. Canada, chance to effectively put this game away, as I don't see the U.S. coming back from a 3-goal deficit with 10 minutes remaining in the third period based on the way they've been playing. Long shot, handled by Moffitt. Faked one-timer. Trying to find a shooting lane there. Picks the top corner. And just beat Moffitt clean. Hey, this one's not on him. If there's anybody on the U.S. that has kept their team in the game, it's Colin Moffitt. I tip my cap to him. I know I'm biased because I'm a goaltender myself, but that kid's been sharp in net. That's just a shot that was absolutely rifled by Reynard. You know, top shelf, right over your shoulder. There's nothing you can do. You know, these kids, this may be U16, but believe me, they got some laser beams. They wouldn't be playing at a world championship level if they didn't. Pardon me. So 9:44 remaining. I mean, to me, barring a miracle, it seems like game, set, match based on how the U.S. is playing, but we'll see how it shakes out. Shot goes wide of Moffitt. Canada player there on the rebound. Good save by Moffitt down on the butterfly. Turnaround effort goes wide. U.S. trying to stick up to the zone. Potential 2-on-1 developing now. Here's the Fazio. Good back check on the play by Canada, but they're going to whistle for a call. Hooking. Oh, that player is incredulous. Looking at his coaching staff, I don't see the coaching staff arguing. Well, now I do. One of them asked the ref to come over. Referee providing an explanation to the Canadian coaching staff. As that penalty is on number 93, Redden Hart. Well, from my view in the bird's nest, yeah, it could have gone either way. The referees have been calling everything, so they've been consistent. And if you've heard me call a game at an ISBHF World Championship, I'll never criticize referees. I always say it. I know you're sick of hearing it. You got the hardest job in the tournament. You think it's easy? Go down there and ref. You see how fast these players are moving, how fast things happen. I'll never criticize them. That last goal, Rowan Reynard, assisted by Flynn and Snedden. U.S. back on the man advantage now. 9 minutes remaining. Canada giving chase. That's Philpott with it. Philpott trying to eat up some time, doing some good work here along the boards. U.S. has 2 bodies on it. Now they take it away. U.S. trying to gain the zone. Stick handle till they can't. They're offsides. Got to get back now. Rifled in. Picked up by the U.S. behind the net. See what they try and do with it here. Canada able to get the clear. The U.S. carrying it up. 8:17 remaining. They gain the zone. Poke checked in. No call. Oh, lone shot. Oh, good stop. Cheers from the bench. Canadian player blew a tire, but Jackson Taraborelli bailed him out. Outstanding goaltending. 1:05 left on the man advantage. Face off, one back by the Canadians. Over to the red line, intercepted by America. Down towards the near boards. Under the stick of Boyer. Down low. Popped up off of a stick. Loose ball. Picked up by the Canadians. They should be able to get a clear here. They do. Well, that ball actually ended up going all the way out of play. And now we're going to get a penalty. Both players getting tossed. Well, you know what? They deserve it. You've been undisciplined all game. I'm going to play the role of color commentator here. I don't have a horse in this race. Both of you deserve it. Like, what do you expect? You're arguing with the ref as you go off. Go sit down for 2 minutes and learn how to play good, clean, fundamental hockey. And if you're a fan of either of these players, I'm sorry, but that is just uncalled for at this level. You're putting your team at a disadvantage. There's just no reason for it. You know, most of us just want to see good, clean, honest, hard-working hockey, and that's not what we're seeing here. And that's why, personally, I get frustrated. As trying unbiased as I be, I just want to see good hockey, and I'm just not seeing good hockey here. And it's disappointing to see kids arguing calls with referee when you committed the infraction right in front of them. Again, what do you expect them to do? Not call it? They've been calling it all game. All right, I'll step down off my soapbox here. Back to the action. Pinned behind the net. U.S. player trying to body the Canadian off the ball. He gets bodied off by another Canadian. Now a U.S. player bodies him. Bodies flying everywhere. Picked up by the States. Long wrist shot. Hit a body in front. Canada gets it clear. So that'll do it on the man advantage. There's 5 seconds left. U.S. is not going to have time to gain the zone and get set back up again as the player comes out of the box. So back to even strength. U.S. trying to walk it in, make a centering attempt. Goes off of a stick. Still a loose ball there. Still loose. Still loose. Referee yelling at him. U.S. whacking. Still whacking. Finally, Canada comes away with it. Now a chance for a 2-on-1. U.S. trying to hustle back. Oh, good poke check there. Ian Basilio. Basilio blows the tire. Moffitt steers it behind the net. U.S. player fans on it now, walking it all alone. Shot saved, Moffitt. He's just been outstanding this game. It's the only bright spot for the U.S. Another save. An all-alone shot, score! Canada! Nice centering attempt there, and Stewart's going to get credit for the goal. I'll put a ribbon on this one. U.S. ain't coming back down 5-1. I'm sorry. I just don't see it happening. Hey, credit to Canada. You know, they were undisciplined this game as well, but what's the difference? When they had opportunities, they finished. It's as simple as that. All right? And 99 times out of 100, when you have players at the World Championship level, you know, two good teams, U.S. and Canada, they know each other well, they know the styles of play. That's really what it comes down to, right? Which team takes advantage of their opportunities and finishes. So, tip my cap to Canada. Taken back by the U.S. in their own zone up along the near board. 6 minutes remaining in the final period. That shot goes up into the mesh netting, and we'll get a face-off here in the neutral zone. So that last goal, as I mentioned, Stewart got credit for it. Nolan Stewart assisted by Snedden. So Snedden's got 3 helpers on the day. Luke Saramak's got 2 goals. Stewart has a goal and an assist. Rowan Reynard and Eric Ripka have the other goals for Canada. For the United States, only goal scorer Jacob Fink, assisted by Ian Basilio. Canada giving chase in the U.S. zone. U.S. comes away with it. whistle here. Referee going to talk over to the Canadian players. Oh, he was just getting the ball, my bad. So face-off comes all the way back down deep into the Canadian zone, or American zone, sorry. Apologies for tripping over my words, folks, here. It's a long day for us at the ISBHF. Not that that's any excuse, right? I know you want good commentary. I'm trying to give it to you, just telling you. It's a lot of long days here for the volunteer staff at the ISBHF. Appreciate all of you tuning in. So U.S. still hemmed in along the far boards. Now Canada comes away with it. Long shot, wrist shot, easily handled by Moffat. Sticks it into the corner. Long shot in, goes wide. Under 5 minutes remaining here. Canada just... They're just... I'm trying to think of a politically correct word here. Canada is handling their business. That's what they're doing. The USA is just out of sorts. However, there is a lot of hockey left to be played here at the World Junior Ball Hockey Championship, so I'm sure when the United States gets back to their hotel tonight, which is quite literally on the other side of the window from me, the Holiday Inn here, they're going to get an earful from the head coaching staff, as well as, I'm sure, General Manager Ryan Shannon, who he himself is a veteran of the Masters and soon-to-be Legends World Championships. Yeah, if I'm a coach, I'm yelling. I'm raising my voice. I really am. Like, you just can't have it. Can't have play like that against a team like Canada. And then instill bad habits, right, going into the remainder of the tournament, as we have 3 minutes and 51 seconds remaining here. I'm yelling. That's what I'm doing. But, again, I'm not a coach. I can never be a coach because, you know, I think back to what John Madden said when he used to be in the announcer's booth, how he can never coach in today's game because they have to wear headsets. And Madden said, I tell you, after the first 2 minutes of the game, that headset would be launched up into the mezzanine section. And if I had a clipboard and I was down on the bench, that clipboard's getting launched way up into the mezzanine section. So I give all the credit in the world to coaching staffs. You know, I never criticize them along with the rest. Boy, you think it's hard playing hockey. Try being a coach. And conversely for Canada, if I'm the coaching staff, listen, I'm not ecstatic about this win. You know, I'm not going to sleep tonight with the warm fuzzies, right? I'm not putting on my... Rick and Morty pajamas and tucking myself in with a smile. I got some stuff to clean up here. This is an undisciplined game for them. Yes, you're walking away with what on paper appears to be a big win, 5-1. And I don't want to take anything away from Canada, but this is largely due to the fact that the United States played such an undisciplined game. But credit to you and your players. When you had your opportunities, you finished, right? And that proved to be the difference. However, there is the matter of penalties to address, right? Again, these are young players. It's the U16. You just don't want bad habits carrying forward, right? This is a short tournament compared to the men's and women's open, right? So that's 9 days. You know, you have time to clean things up. Here, you know, if you let bad habits go, man, boy, they're just hard to get rid of. They really are. And I've heard coaching staffs, believe me, I'm the promotions director for the ISBHF. I have the ultimate all-access pass. I can go anywhere I want. I've interviewed coaches. I've talked with them off camera. And I'll tell you, man, they get, hot under the collar. That's an under-expression. They're so passionate about these kids. You know, they want these kids to do good work, as Canada's screaming for a call there. But I think the referees just want this game to end. Probably tired of blowing the whistle as Canada walks it in. Save Moffat. He's been the only bright spot in an otherwise unremarkable and undisciplined performance for the United States. And for you U.S. fans in the chat, look, I'm from the United States, but I'm neutral, right? I am the promotions director for the ISBHF. I don't work for USA Ball Hockey. I don't have a horse in this race. Do I have friends from America? Obviously. Do I want to see America perform well? Obviously. But I'm trying to call a neutral game here. And I want to give credit where credit is due. And Canada deserves the credit in this game. And if that bothers you, I'm sorry. You know, but back to my point about the Canadian coaching staff, you know, again, I'm not putting on the pajamas, going to bed with a smile on my face. I'm going to be making sure that the players get an earful, too, for the lack of discipline here, as Canada gets number 6 here on just a good hustle play, right? Not faulting Moffat on that. That's not him. He's not the one who didn't chase the player down from behind, right? What do you want him to do? As soon as this player turns around, I'll give you the goal scorer. So that's Snedden. Hey, hats off to Snedden, man. He didn't need to run that hard, but, right, he's got the A on his jersey. That's why he's an assistant captain, right? You're expected to lead by example. And that's what you want to earn a captain or an assistant captain for you younger fans at home. That's the type of stuff you got to do, right? You're up 5-1. Goal differential matters. It's been used as a tiebreaker in the ISBHF before. So, yeah, great hustle play on his part, as Canada takes the flooring with 1:41 left. Well, face off, one back by Canada, taken behind the net, chipped up along the far boards. Intercepted by the Americans. Trying to find something to throw at the net here, but they just can't. Up to the center floor, misplayed by the Americans. Now they get a good stick check on the play there. Boyer with it. Gains the zone. Dumped it off to number 13, Ian Basilio. Shot! Pad save! Jackson Taraborelli. Boy, there's an Italian name for you, huh? Taraborelli. Hey, this kid's been solid. I haven't called his name a lot because the U.S. has been missing the net primarily, but he's stepped up when he's had to. You know, that one goal the U.S. had wasn't on him. So ball sent up along the far boards. Long shot from the U.S. handled. U.S. unable to keep that in. 45 seconds remaining in the game. Long shot, just sticked aside by the Canadian netminder, number 30, Jackson Taraborelli. 25 seconds remaining here. U.S. trying to just cut the goal differential down. Good stick work here by both teams. Although I wouldn't be shocked if there's another penalty called. 8 seconds left. I feel like we've had 15,454 penalties called. As that'll do it, Canada takes the victory over the United States. They move into a tie for first place with Slovakia. For the United States, well, I'm not going to beat that horse to death. It's just disappointment all around. Hey, credit to Canada. They took care of their business. I'll stick around, as I always do, for player of the game here, see who gets it. For the United States, it should be Moffat and nobody else in consideration. Again, just my personal opinion. I usually like to toss out 2 or 3 names to see who could win player of the game. Just a thing I like to do, but honestly, for the U.S., it's Moffat and nobody else. If they give it to anybody else, I will vehemently disagree with it. But again, that's just my opinion. For Canada, I think you got a few people to choose from here, right? You know, looking at the score sheet, Saramac, you know, had the couple of hustle plays there, a hustle goal. You know, Snedden's got 3 helpers on the day. You could also go with the netminder. Hey, Taraborelli played solid, man, right? Kept him to 1 goal, so we'll see. All right, the goalie, Moffitt gets it. Good for him.
The best player of Team Canada is player number 30,
All right, well, it's the goalies. Hey, 2 for 2, huh? How about a round of applause for your announcer? All right, folks, that's a wrap. They're going to play the Canadian National Anthem after my guy Jan Havel, the one there in the black shirt, comes out to take player of the game photos, which we will get up on our Instagram and Facebook account. Appreciate you joining us. Hope you had a good time. Final score, Canada 6, United States 1. Full day of action tomorrow. That's a wrap from Nike Arena. See you later.